In these videos, we're going to talk about how to build a wave spawning system inside of Unreal 4 using the blueprint system. So even though we're going to spawn some enemies using the FPS game starter kit, the logic should be the same. So theoretically, you could spawn any enemy you want. You just might have to set up some AI sorts of things to make them work. But in this example, we're going to spawn enemies using the FPS game system, starter kit. But generally, the system's going to be the same. You just might have to repurpose a node or two if you have your own enemies you want to spawn. So before we actually build it, I want to talk about how to conceptualize our wave spawn system. Now, there's many ways to build a wave spawning system, but the way in which I'm going to plan and build mine is going to be as follows. I'm going to have a primary wave spawner. This is the main node of our wave spawning system. You could think of this node as handling the encounter. From this wave spawner blueprint, we are going to trigger a series of waves, and each wave will have a series of spawn points, and each spawn point will spawn an enemy. So you might imagine how you could use this in your level. Theoretically, we would place a wave spawner to declare that we want a series of waves to spawn. Then we would place however many number of waves we want throughout our level. And for each wave, we want to define which spawn points belong to that wave. And then in all of these, we can set an amount of time before which the spawn points will trigger. So you could have wave 1 happen at 0 seconds. You could have wave 2 happen at 30 seconds, and then it will continue to spawn. And you can get more complex than this particular example. Like you could check to make sure that all of the enemies from the previous wave are defeated before spawning the next wave if you want, but we're just going to keep it as simple as possible. This wave will spawn at this time mark, and this wave will spawn at this time mark. And this is going to be our system. So in order to put this together, we're going to have 3 different blueprints classes. We'll have our wave spawner class, which will look for a series of waves. We'll have a wave blueprint, which will look for a series of spawn points. And then we'll have a spawn point that actually spawns the enemy. So this is how we're going to set it up. And then next we will look at how to start building out some of these blueprints and get something working.